Okay, let's do another example. Let's suppose that we have a kid and the kid is going to kick a ball and it kicks the ball horizontally at initial velocity of 2.33 meters per second, and this is just going to be horizontal, but kicks the ball right along the edge of a hill, and so this is a 25-degree slope. What I want to know is D, how far down the slope does the ball hit? Okay, so what do? Well, we do the same thing we always do. We look at equations. So x equals x naught plus v x naught t plus 1/2 ax t squared, and y equals y naught plus vy naught t plus 1/2 ay t squared. Okay, so we got the y, we got the x. Okay, we know the acceleration is only down, so I can put my origin right here. I can say to the right is positive x, down is positive y. Okay, so that means my x naught is 0, my y naught is 0, my ax is 0, so x is just going to be, well, actually, it turns out that vy naught is 0, so it's just going to be v naught t. And then y is going to be 1/2 g t squared. And so we say, what do we know? We know v naught, we know 1/2, we know g. And we look at this and say, well, gosh, this sure looks like it's not going to work for us because we got 1, 2, 3 unknowns and only 2 equations. And so we said, well, what can we do about this? Well, we have to think about it and realize, well, x and y are somehow related to each other. X and y are related to each other by this angle of 25 degrees, okay, and d. So x is just going to be d cosine 25 degrees. And then y is going to be d sine 25 degrees. So now we go back to our equations. Okay, so our x equation now looks like d cosine 25 degrees equals v naught time. And then our y equation looks like d sine 25 degrees equals 1/2 g t squared. And we say, well, okay, so now we have 2 equations and we only have 2 unknowns left. We have d and we have t. So let's solve for d over here, or rather solve for t over here because we're trying to find d. So this is going to be d cosine 25 degrees over v naught. Okay, so now what we can do is take that and plug into this equation. So then we have that d sine 25 degrees is going to be equal to 1/2 of g times d cosine 25 degrees over v naught squared. Okay, so we do a little algebra here. D sine 25 degrees equals d squared g cosine squared 25 degrees over 2v naught squared. Okay, that d cancels that d, and so we just solve for d. So d is going to be 2v naught squared sine of 25 degrees divided by g cosine squared 25 degrees. Okay, so now we just plug in our numbers that we were given, and so we plug in the numbers, and so this is 2 times the 2.33 meters per second squared times sine squared 20, or sine, I don't know why, so sine 25 degrees, and divided by 9.81 meter per second squared, and cosine squared 25 degrees. And so D comes out to be 0.569 meters. Okay, so yet another example of our equations, and then just using the relationship between the x and the y.